Right guys, welcome to my channel, and I just want to go through why I have gone onto the DeWalt platform, just for reasons being cost, performance, reliability, all these kind of things, the research I've done, all that kind of stuff. I'm not being a show off here with all these tools. There is reasoning behind it. All these tools are bought with my own money. I'm not sponsored in any way, so you're getting an accurate interpretation of how I see it. So sit back, grab yourself a coffee, and enjoy what I go through with the tools and why it was my choice to go with the DeWalt brand. There's many other brands out there. You may choose, you may disagree with me, but I have done over the last course of the last sort of 6 months all my research, all this, all that. And for beginners and hobbyists, this is aimed at you. This is not aimed at seasoned professionals, but they played a big part in my overall choices, why I went with DeWalt. So grab yourself a copy and let's get started. Right, number one, how did my budget influence my choice? I wanted tools that weren't the cheapest, but still give me sort of like really good value for money. DeWalt seems to be a mid-range to higher range sort of tool brand that offers and claims to offer solid performance for the price. So that was the reasoning behind that one. Why did I choose DeWalt as a brand specifically? Well, reliability, performance. You see professionals using DeWalt all the time on job sites. If you have a look at through the YouTube videos, a lot of people are using DeWalt. There's other ranges, McKee or Milwaukee, in sort of that sort of price sphere, but owning my first DeWalt sort of drill, which was this one here, and being really happy with it, that gave me confidence in the brand for the kickoff. So that one tool there gave me sort of the confidence. So that's why I chose the brand. It was a mixture of them two things really. Main one was the professionals using DeWalt tools. How was reliability in my decision? Well, as an hobbyist woodworker, I don't really want to replace my tools often, and I think this brand, with the reviews and the specific tools I've picked so far, is going to sort of help me further in my hobby, in my woodworking, get me better. Reliability is sort of key. I want to outlast, I want my tools to outlast sort of what I'm doing. I don't want to be running back, getting them fixed all the time, buying more tools all the time. Been down that route with other brands, smaller brands. So that was that one. Have I considered cheaper alternatives? Yeah, most definitely considered it. But I have been down this route before, so I've bought cheaper brands of tools before in the past. I'm not going to name and shame them. It's down to individuals to do research, but I'm just going off why I'm buying this. But things like battery life, reliability, ease of use, weight, all these kind of things you don't think of when you're buying sort of your tools. And, you know, you can be sort of swayed by price sometimes. Don't get me wrong, there is some good brands out there, cheaper brands. I think there's one now, if you want to have a look at it, called Erbauer. Erbauer, if you're in the UK. I think it's similar to the Hercules range if you're in the US. I think it's sort of that comparison. I think, don't quote me on it, but yeah, I did have a look at cheaper brands, but just because of reviews, I always do my research, and some brands I've not bought before, some brands I have bought before. I've been put off in the past by certain brands when I bought a specific branded tool. There was one time I bought a Ryobi tool and it sort of like put me off. It was a while back. I know they've got a big sort of tool platform, and no doubt a lot of you will say they're good tools, but for me, buying that a while back sort of like put me off that brand. So that was the reason why I've not gone down the cheaper route. I thought I'd save up a bit more money and buy stuff as and when I can afford it. So that's my reason why I didn't buy cheaper branded tools. Right, why go cordless? Well, it's simple for me really. If you've seen my videos, you know I'm in a really small space, and you know I'm a big guy. I've got health issues, arthritis, all this kind of stuff, and cordless tools. When I first started doing my YouTube videos, if I had like cordless circular saw, cordless jigsaw, cordless router, I was tripping over everything, and the last thing I want to do is come across on my videos as being dangerous, but for my own safety as well. And I thought it would be it was a decision I made that I was going to go down this route anyway. Now there is still some cordless tools I have. I have my table saw, just because the power that happens to be DeWalt. It's a fantastic sort of job site saw. I can't knock it anyway. But luckily, where the power outlet is for that, I'm not going to be tripping over that. And for my miter saw, which is a Makita, it's an old school Makita miter saw, the 12-inch one, but it's too heavy. So that's one thing I'm looking at now. Maybe a cordless sort of miter saw might be my next sort of avenue. I don't know yet. I don't really want to get rid of my Makita. Trouble with my Makita is the weight of it. It's old school. It's built to last. It's like a tank, and I have to get me two lads now to lift it in and out for me when I want to use it. And when they're working, you know, one of them works from home, but when they're working, I don't want to be sort of bothering and badgering them every 5 minutes. My issues are my issues, and I'll deal with my issues. But yeah, let me know in the comments if there's any good cordless miter saws. I have looked at the DeWalt one. It looks very good. Price, I don't know about, but going off all the other tools so far, you know, I can't see a problem with it. But yeah, that's why I went on the cordless platform. Do I worry about battery life? Yeah, but this drill here, I've had it, I don't know, about 3 years, and when it come with these two batteries, 1.5 amp, 18 volt. I think the guys in America, in the US and Canada, 20 volt. I think they're the same thing, but over here they class it as 18 volt, and over there they class it as 20 volt. I think that's what it is. That's what I've heard, and this has been superb, absolutely superb. The battery in these for this drill are superb. Now I've got some of the 4 amp and I've got some of the 5 amp batteries, and I've not had a problem with the sort of router can eat up the battery life. So if you're going to get a more powerful tool, what I suggest is just buy the odd battery now and again. I know they're not cheap, you know, by far they're not cheap, but when I have bought like other cheaper tools, and the batteries just don't last 5 minutes. I've got some tools in there. I've got on another battery platform, and I so wish now, having these DeWalt tools, that I didn't buy them. So that's that. So the battery life is important, and I think with DeWalt, it's sort of you're getting sort of good value for your money, depending on where you are, obviously. So battery life, that's the battery life. Did I consider Milwaukee and Makita sort of because they're in the same sort of class, I should say. People will say Milwaukee's in a better class. Some people will say Makita's in a better class, and you know there's a lot of discussion around that. I'm not here to cause any trouble, but the way I see it, I just think that, you know, it's your own choosing what platform you go. Just sort of go along and do your research. I went on budget, availability, I went on all that, and it just seemed to me I could easily find DeWalt everywhere. Lots of people were using them. I've heard some stories about Makita not being like it used to be. I know Makita used to be fantastic tools, and a little story there, I had Makita sanders for a long time, corded ones, and they were always absolutely brilliant. And then for some reason they changed something, and the quality just went downhill. So that sort of like put me off. Same with a Milwaukee. I bought a Milwaukee tool. I think it was like a screwdriver type thing. It weren't sort of the higher end stuff, but it failed on me, and I just sort of like, it put me off. And I don't know what it is. Something about the DeWalt, it just clicked with me. Everything I've touched of DeWalt always seems good in the hand. It seems solid and robust and well made. I'm not saying they're not, the other brands are not. It's just that this is why I chose this. More so, it just clicked with me. And you'll get that. You might get Makita or Milwaukee, but please, like I say, like I've said in the other things, do your research. Make sure that the tool is right for you. Did the ergonomics play a part in why I chose DeWalt? It was a bit of a part of it. Me being sort of arthritis in my legs, in my feet mainly. It's now sort of like getting in my hands and all that. The ergonomics of everything mean everything like that. It's really nice to hold. It's really well balanced. It's a beast of a tool. It's the brushless range. What I would say is try and get brushless tools now. They seem to be the ones that everybody's going for, and the prices are starting to come down on the brushless tools. So yeah, ergonomics played a part. Everything feels nice and solid in the hand. They're not overweight neither. This is the newest thing to my lineup, which is a circular saw. I bought this because obviously I'm having trouble with the miter saw. I thought I'd bring in a circular saw more. It come with a stock blade, which was DeWalt, and it was a 24 tooth blade, which is fine. I find the DeWalt blades okay, but from watching other sort of people and woodworkers in general, I got a Freud blade, inexpensive really. I just swapped that out, and the difference in the quality, even though the DeWalt blade's okay, it's a 24 tooth. This is more of sort of, this is a 40 tooth, so it sort of benefits me. I can do a lot of different things with this blade, but the difference in cutting sort of capability is night and day. That is a better blade by far. Even though the DeWalt one is good, that one is good. If you're getting the blades and you can't stretch your budget to buying a new blade for your tool at the beginning, don't worry about it. The DeWalt blade's fine. You'll get that with most tool manufacturers anyway. They'll give you the sort of, a blade will come with it. Just use it. You want to use your tools. You want to get out. You want to use your tools, don't you? So yeah, ergonomics, weight ratios, all that kind of thing played a massive part. Like this router fits in my hand perfectly. I love this router. It's that come with, you get a kit, it comes in a T-stack case. I've got some T-stack cases as well for storage. Comes with like a plunge base thing or whatever. You'll see me use that on some of the videos, upcoming videos. But yeah, look at the reviews on YouTube on that, some of the other woodworkers. I'm not big into reviews and reviewing tools because I don't think I'm sort of qualified enough to do so. But some of the guys that are really rate this DeWalt 18 volt. You guys in the States will call it a 20 volt palm router. The model number is the DCW600 XR range. A fantastic bit of kit. I've had it in use. It's really good. So yeah, ergonomics. If you've got sort of things like arthritis, that kind of thing, and you're struggling lifting and holding, go along to like your local tool centre and pick up the tools, and they feel right. And most importantly, pick them up and put the battery in. There's an whole world of difference between sort of like, say, that now feels sort of nice and light, but when I put like a 5 amp battery in it, it changes the whole dynamics of that tool, the feel. But even still, it feels nice and light, solid, robust, feels nice in the hand. The balance is okay for me. People will differ on balance, but I find them fine. So that's that one. Warranties. Warranties if things go wrong. With all these tools here, how I bought them, obviously I can take them back within 12 months to where I bought them from, with the exception of my table saw, because the company that I bought that from's gone bust. but I've got a 3-year DeWalt warranty with it anyway. So when you get the tool, in the boxes you will find all sorts of paperwork, and you register your 3-year warranty if you're going with a DeWalt platform. And from what I can gather off other people, again, doing my research, is the warranty on this, they hold up really well. So, you know, don't be swayed. 3-year warranty, really. You know, I expect a tool to last me 3 to 5 years. When I sort of buy a tool as well, and the cost sort of comparison and whatever, I try and sort of judge it on a sort of like a 5-year scale, and if I can get my money work. One thing I will say about all of the DeWalt sort of tools range is the instruction booklet. You need sort of like a degree. I mean, even the pictures and stuff, and even though a technical guru would say that's well thought out and all this kind of stuff, but for average sort of Joe like me, I ain't got a clue. I ain't got a clue what all that's about, trust me. So, but you've got half an idea. What I would suggest is when you want to use a new tool, is if you're more sort of a visual learner like I am, go onto YouTube, watch the guys using the tools. There's loads of tool videos where you can see a specific tool. Just type into the search bar the sort of code for the tool, whatever the tool is, and I guarantee there'll be somebody there that will show you, go through setup, go through the use, safety aspects, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, just do that. It's, you know, the warranty, it's a good warranty. I've got 3 years. And I'm an hobbyist. I'm not out on site with these tools, so I think I'm safe. I think my money's safe. Time will tell, but I think my money's safe. Right, okay. Power was another thing with tools. Having sort of the cheaper tools, and sometimes when you go through a job and they lack real power, this is something that you can overlook when sort of go to buy sort of cheaper tools. I haven't had any issues with these. With these DeWalt tools, they've been sort of really powerful enough. I'm not running an industrial workshop. I'm not out on site cutting through beams sort of this wide or whatever. And for me, perfect amount of power, more so in fact. They get me through every job I've tried. So the power aspect, even with that sort of like smaller battery on that smaller drill, you know, there's plenty of power on that. That's had everything thrown at it, that drill, and it's still coming up trumps every time I use it. In fact, I've had it that long. You know, sometimes I'll use that drill more than I'll use some of the other stuff. But yeah, I want to use my tools. Power's most important on the tools. I'm not one for it like putting my tools on like tool walls, and you know, they're there for show and all that. Your tools are to use. Power's a massive thing in that. So yeah, plenty powerful enough. Don't worry about the power. Accessibility to spare parts and repairs and all that kind of stuff. Well, number one, like I come back to the warranty, you've got that sort of like is, you know, if you break your tool and it's your fault, that's your fault, isn't it? Only you know. But if your tool sort of like I'm using that starts smoking, you've got that warranty. I'll be honest with you, I've not had to send anything back. So what the service is like repair centres, I haven't got a clue. But tool accessibility, you can pick up batteries anywhere, you can pick up the tools anywhere. If you're sort of like halfway through a job and one blows up or whatever, you know, if you're in that unfortunate situation, the accessibility is always there for you. So yeah, the spare parts thing, I don't think they sort of make tools now for, you know, where I'm not going to sit there and sort of take that apart to put a spare part. I wouldn't have a clue anyway. So if it ever sort of come to it, I'd be using my warranty. If I broke it and it was off my own back, I would be honest enough just to go out and buy another one, because I don't think that's right. I don't think I should sort of use sort of my warranty to sort of fleece a company that try to provide something decent for you anyway. So yeah, accessibility, the tools are everywhere. I'm sure there'll be service centres with spare parts. I don't, I'm talking about UK here. I can't speak for US, Canada, Australia, or Europe, but I'm sure they're a massive, massive brand. So I'm sure that there'll be something out there for everybody. So another thing is like the basic, like the ecosystem. So the tools you can get on the platform. DeWalt do a really good range of tools, but there's some tools that are going to be more expensive, and you think, wow, that's really expensive for what it is. I'm looking around at nailers at the minute, Brad nailers. The Brad nailers are sort of quite expensive in the DeWalt range, but I will get them because I've got the batch. I will get one eventually because I've got the battery. The Brad nailer I'm using was a cheaper brand of tool. The battery's naff, the actual nailer's naff. So I will be getting DeWalt, and as tools become cheaper, as things progress, tools get cheaper unless they sort of bring a new range of things out. Like you've got like the Flex Vault, and you've been out a while, but that's something else I need to look into. The Flex Vault maybe sometime in the future, but I'm going to ecosystem. Pick your ecosystem. Look at the range of tools in the ecosystem. If you can't sort of like go to the DeWalt brand, the other one I really did have a look at was, like I say, the Erbauer one. There's a new range of Erbauer tools that have just come out, and they've got a massive range, and I believe they're very, very good. And it was a real toss-up between sort of this and them, although I haven't got any cordless Erbauer tools, and the DeWalt drill swayed it for me. So, but yeah, have a look at it. Look at your ecosystem very, very closely, what they offer, what you want to get from your tool platform, and just check at other prices of the other tools. Like I say, one drawback with this sort of DeWalt range would be sort of like me now, if I'm wanting a Brad nailer, that is an expensive bit of kit. So yeah, look closely, look wisely. Did the brand's reputation have a factor? Yes, it did. It had a massive factor on me. I watch other people using DeWalt tools in settings, work settings, and settings where they're getting thrown about, all that kind of stuff. So it had a massive factor. If they go through that rigmarole and the professionals, the professional people are using them, they've got to be good. There's got to be something in the tools. So for me as a hobby woodworker, it was a factor, and they're going to sort of do me good. I'm not going to put them through any sort of hard rigor like the professionals do. I'm just an hobbyist. I'm just that kind of guy. Beginner woodworker hobbyist. I'm not going to push these tools to the max. So yeah, the brand reputation give me sort of the impetus to go and buy them. Did needing a large range of tools make me make my decision? No, not really. Although these DeWalt tools offer a broad range of tools, I'll only buy tools as my hobby grows. So as I need a tool, I will sort of identify I need that tool. Say I've got a certain project coming up, a YouTube project, and I'm going to need a certain tool. I will put that project off until I've got the money to buy that tool. I don't want DeWalt, and this is the truth, I don't want to be sat here getting sponsored off people and telling you lies. And like, I've had sort of tool companies send me stuff, and like I say to them all, I am going to tell the truth. If I think your tool is rank, is garbage, I am going to tell my subscribers. And that's the way. I've had some tool companies then pull a tool. Yeah, believe me, I'm going to remain nameless. They've pulled the tool. They've wanted me to, these tools smell of roses, when actually they don't. So that's that. I think these are okay. Trust me, for me. I will buy tools as my hobby grows and as and when I need tools. So that if that's you and you're that woodworker, do the same. Don't just go in, spend thousands of pounds on tools, and then have tools I've done this myself in the past, so you know I'm no one to preach, but you know you can have tools. It's just money sat there, so buy the tools as and when you need them. Am I paying for a brand name? Yeah, but I'm also paying for what I see as reliability, ease of use, well thought out products. I'm paying for the warranty. I'm paying for what I've seen other guys use these tools in the professional environments. Of course I'm paying for a brand name, but the overall factor is the brand is made, in my opinion, a good product. So overall a good product. There's going to be sometimes you're going to buy a tool. I could go out tomorrow, buy that tool, and you could hear some idiot like me singing its praises, and you go out and buy that tool. You get that tool home, and that tool breaks on you, and you think, what's he talking about? But my advice to you is look at all the reviews on that tool, and go onto different sites and look at reviews, because I know there's some companies out there that will only put good reviews on their site. The bad reviews they'll not put on. A good reputable company will put also the bad reviews. And when you see that, read through the reviews, and when you'll get, if you can sort of, I averaged it out at sort of, for every 25 reviews on that, say, if there was one negative review and the other 24 were good, I know overall that's a good tool. So that's how I sort of worked it out. Yeah, you're gonna get, yeah, you're paying for a brand, you're paying for, but you're paying for the design that's gone into it, the quality, other people are using it, the warranty. It's not just about the actual tool, although you're using the actual tool. I hope that makes sense to you. So anyway, that's that one. Right, build quality. I find the build quality on these superb. Now, I have dropped my drills. I've not dropped this yet, and I've not dropped, obviously I've not dropped that, I've not long had it. I've not dropped my jigsaw, but I've dropped all my drills. The solid, robust, they're well made. You can tell they've used good parts in them. I don't know about the insides. I'm not going to take one apart. You'd have to get sort of one of them electrical engineer videos to see what they're like inside. But I did watch a video on one of these guys where they were looking at, because you can get a lot of fakes as well, and they were looking at batteries, and they took sort of fake batteries apart, and they took different batteries apart, and you can see the sort of technology that just goes into a battery. It's sort of like mind-blowing, really. And then sort of the tools, but honestly, I know the plastic rubber, the hardware, and you've got some sort of like steel on this as well. Really good quality, in my opinion. I don't think that's an issue. I don't even think you don't even go there with that one. I think the build quality of them is superb. Right, are these tools beginner friendly? DeWalt, are they beginner friendly? Of course they're beginner friendly. In my experience, there are the powerful tools, but if you use them in a safe manner, you're gonna be sort of blown away by how good they are, and they're easy to use, the ease of use. They're not overly complicated, so you sort of like, if you're sort of into the realms of woodworking, 9 times out of 10, well, let's say 8 times out of 10, you can pick up a tool and sort of know how to use it anyway. Not overly complicated at all. I've seen some tools like honestly, you look at them and you think, wow, what, why? You know what I mean? Why is that there? Why have they done this? But with these tools so far, they're not overly complicated. Less complication for me, the better. Did I try the tools before buying them? Some I did, some I didn't, is the honest answer to that. What I tended to do was, again, I'll go back to reviews. Go to reviews, watch the YouTube videos on the tools. You'll get a broad range of views, but the reviews are the main things. The people, the ordinary people like your good selves and me, that we're going out spending our hard-earned money. Just be careful of people that are reviewing. You could sort of sniff them anyway. You know, the ones that have been given the tools to say good things. You can sniff that out. Any sort of you really can. Just but look at written reviews. That's what I would say. If I go to buy anything, I mean, I knew how to use a drill. I know how to use a jigsaw, although I need still a lot of practice on a jigsaw, but I know how to use it. Circular saw, I'm not too up with circular saws, but I instinctively know how to use it. All that kind of thing. I want to sort of like the hands-on experience with certain things like that swayed my decisions. It was more this tool, this one drill, sort of swayed my decisions for all this. And yeah, but please look at the written reviews. If you can find a YouTuber that you can trust, there's plenty out there that do tool reviews and really know the tools. Go with them. Try and find out if they're sponsored or whatever. There's nothing against them being sponsored. There's still a lot of guys that are sponsored out there that are being genuine with you and they're being honest with you because their reputation's at stake. But there will be a lot out there that will sort of like get a tool and say it's the dog's bollocks, say it's brilliant, and well, it's not. So just be wary, do your research. Am I concerned about upgrades to the battery platform in the future? Simple answer is yeah, but who knows what's down the line. You've got to go with the here and now and just keep an eye on the innovation, what's progressing. I think from what I'm reading, DeWalt is actually committed to backwards compatibility, so they'll be committed to these battery platforms for years to come. I've not got really any worries with that, to be honest. Am I happy with sort of DeWalt accessories and stuff like that overall? Yeah, like drills, drill bits, blades. I spoke about the blades. They're good enough to get you started. The mitre gauge on my table saw was naff, but with a bit of tweaking, you can sort of make it usable. The batteries are fine. Yeah, like drill bits, all that kind of thing, all the sort of like secondary things you use. DeWalt seems to always have even that you know, when I've bought like bits in the past, plug cutters, that kind of thing, I've never had a problem with them with the DeWalt brand. So I'm more than happy with all that side of it. So if I want something like a new battery, I know I can, with confidence, I can go out and buy a new battery. Like I bought, where is it? This one recently. This battery with that circular saw. You know, you buy a bare unit and you buy a battery. I always have a look around for deals because there's always companies doing deals. Check around for the best deals possible. Check for their returns policy, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I'm more than happy with the accessories and add-ons, what you can get with DeWalt. More than happy. For hobbyists, so I'm getting to the end now, so I think I've been over everything. If there's anything in, you know, I've not covered and whatever your views are, pop them in the comments. Be nice and respectful. We're trying to, you know, create a good woodworking environment for everybody to sort of enjoy and learn from. I'm not saying DeWalt are the best, far from it. I'm not saying that at all. But what I'm saying is this is why I made my choice. Other people will have different choices and different reasons, obviously. Now, one thing I will say is, if you can't afford to go out and buy brand new tools, that's fine. Don't worry about it. You don't need loads and loads of tools to start woodworking. You can get by with a circular saw and a jigsaw or whatever, and whatever whatever you want to make. But if you want to go out and buy tools, there's secondary marketplaces, there's eBay, there's Facebook Marketplace, there's you guys in the States call them yard sales, and we call them over here boot sales and all this kind of stuff. But one thing I will say to you is, especially in Britain now, I don't know what it's like in States, Canada, Australia or Europe, But there's gangs going about stealing tools from vans and woodworkers' tools, and site professionals. The tools are being targeted, and they always sort of ending up on car boot sales. Like basically, to put it into perspective for you guys outside the UK, basically like a fair, a secondhand fair or whatever. You can go and buy anything from these fairs, from tools to clothes to whatever. And you'll see sort of tools there, and how you sort of can sniff them out is they'll have like tables full of different tools, and you think, where you got all these from? Even if I wanted to set up a tool buying and selling, reselling business, I would really struggle to find the amount of tools that some of these guys are getting. So have a look at the tools, check for the serial numbers. If them serial numbers are scrubbed out, walk away, that tool will be stolen. Don't buy stolen tools, because that's somebody's livelihood. We don't want these guys going round sort of pinching tools from people, because that guy who's had his tools stolen from, that guy could be you, and it's not on. So, but have a good look round. You can buy tools. Go if you're buying from someone on, say, Facebook Marketplace, go and physically use a tool, test it, check the serial number. You'll get an idea from the person you're buying from. It might be just retiring, or it might be somebody that's passed away and the family are selling the tools on, or something like that. And you'll get a vibe for the person. You'll know if there's something sticky or dodgy or whatever. You'll get the vibe. So just do your sort of be sort of coy to how you go and buy these tools. I've bought second-hand tools in the past. The first thing I do really is what's the person like? What's the person like that's selling them? Why are they selling them? Oh really? Have you got any other tools? What have you got? Like you'll get a vibe. Check the serial numbers. Always check that it's working. Check batteries. They can be faulty sometimes. You could sort of be leading yourself down a rabbit hole buying stuff that they're trying to get rid of because they're busted, they're out of warranty, that kind of stuff. Don't buy stuff and then let them post at you, unless they're a business seller, say on eBay, and you've got, like here in the UK we have a 14-day returns policy, all that kind of stuff. So make sure you cross your T's and dot your I's. Don't buy stolen tools, but there's plenty of second-hand tools out there you can go and buy. Right guys, that's it. So I hope you like that video, this video. I hope it's been informative for you. I hope so anyway, and it just runs over why I've got my tools. I hope it makes you make your decisions on whatever sort of platform you go for, whether it be Makita, Milwaukee, Ryobi, DeWalt, whatever one you do. My advice is stay away just from the lower end brand new tools, because they're not good. I'll see you on the next video, and don't forget to give us a subscribe on all my woodworking videos, mainly on a Sunday evening. Hit the notification button and stay safe everyone. Spend well.